Welcome to a video tutorial on tools for graphing in Minitab Express, pie charts with summarized data. In order to do this exercise, what you're going to need is some data. The data that we're going to use is the pulse rates data downloadable at the Minitab Express website. Here's a description of the indicators in the pulse rates data. We will be using some of them in the example today. This data was downloaded and then put into a spreadsheet, the pulse rates spreadsheet. In our particular example, we're going to be looking at summarized data, and specifically we're going to be looking at an activity summary where the participants in the study indicated whether they exercised a lot, moderate, or slightly. So what I'm going to do right here is copy the summary of activity and the count of the participants who did this. And then what I'm going to do is paste it into Minitab Express. So in column 1 we have activity, in column 2 we have count. This is summarized data because it's looking at the summary of the totals in each category already. The next thing we want to do is to make a graph, and we're going to be making a pie chart graph. To access the pie chart graph, you would be accessing the graphing menu. On a PC it's very similar. It might not be the same. This is done on a Macintosh, but you do have the same menus on a PC. So we're going to choose summarize data because that's the nature of the data. And right now it's asking you for the category names and the summary values. To figure out which are categorical variables, when you look at Minitab Express, you'll notice something that looks kind of like a four-square type of item that indicates categorical data. If you see something that looks almost like a distribution, that is continuous data. So what we're going to look at is, we know that the activity contains the category names, and the count of how many of each type is going to be in those summary values. And what I did is I double-clicked, and that will put it in here. Another way you can do is you can highlight and then push the right arrow over here, and that will also put the summary value in. Okay, click OK. What you can now do is grab the edge of that spreadsheet that's incorporated within Minitab Express, and you can drag it down right at its border. And you'll notice that the pie chart of activity is color-coded. The category a lot is blue, moderate is red, and slight is yellow. It also tells you the different percentages in each category. You can also modify this particular pie chart. To modify any of these charts in Minitab Express, simply click on the graph, and two indicators will show up. On the top, it lets you change the layout, so I'm going to click on the little circular part which says graph layout, and you can do it in the default order. You can also do it in increasing order, so that changes the order of the slices, or you can also do it in decreasing order, and you'll see how it's done that way. When you look at the graphs, you'll notice that the way the ordering is done when you talk about decreasing is it goes in a counterclockwise order from lowest to highest. If you choose increasing, it will do it in a counterclockwise order from highest to lowest, or you can just simply put it in the default order and let Minitab choose the ordering that it is done in. Other things that you can do is look at the graph elements, and you can change the title. So you can not only, so right now if I were to take the check mark off, the graph has no title. You should always have a title in a graph. You might also opt to put a subtitle and also a footer or a footnote. Any one of these can be edited. So let's say right now I just want to edit the title. I'll just say activity level. Again, clicking on the graph again, I can bring back those elements to modify the graph as it currently is. You can also modify the slice labels to indicate the frequency in addition to the percent, or maybe just the frequency only. So according to this, it'll tell you there was 9 counts for slight, 21 counts for a lot, and 61 counts for moderate. You can also have the category name if you want, and you can also have all three. The leader line simply is that line that comes out of the pie chart like so. So if you deselect it, it just eliminates it. So let's just put it back to what it was right now. Again, really what it is your goal is to find a way to produce a graph that really illustrates what the phenomenon is. Lastly, you can also choose to include the legend or choose not to include the legend, and by deselecting it, the legend disappears of what means what. So that's a short demonstration of how to use the pie chart. Last portion is that remember that when you create any of these graphs, it will also create summary statistics as you see below. So you will see a lot was 21, moderate is 61, and slight is 9. It also includes the percentages as well. So that's a little bit about how it works. If you're wondering how to get access to the data that was shown in this presentation, please view the description with the video. It includes the links both to the description of the data and also a way to download the same data so that you too can practice. I hope you found this helpful.